beautiful sunny day here in Lusaka. The perfect time to be tuned to the Eden Life podcast where we discuss thought-provoking questions. Hello once again. I'm your host, Dion Ruth Gumbo, and I'm going to be leading today's conversation where we are going to be talking about unfaithfulness in a relationship, how women can survive that also. So allow me to acknowledge the elephant in the room with us today, a woman who once walked around with a heart that had a very deep and bleeding wound within her, but at the end of the day, she survived. Hello and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much. Can you introduce yourself to the guests and tell us what your passions are?
My name is Sagani Mlilo. I'm a social worker and also involved in environmental awareness.
Oh, thank you so much. That is really good. So we all know you were once in a very toxic relationship where you survived the hands of a man who was a cheater. Now we want to know, how did you navigate that? How did you survive that? Because most women right now in Zambia, in Africa, in the world at large are failing to deal with it. How did you navigate it?
That's rather a deep conversation to have when it comes to cheating because
Definitely.
Jolo.
Men.
That's what I can say.
Yes.
Jolo Buffett.
Mhm.
But simple had to do with a strong support system and finding myself all over again and acknowledging that I am the princess that my parents raised. So why do
Definitely.
I need to break down all over again just because a man who felt like his ego wasn't well brought up or something like that needed me to acknowledge boost his ego. Well, I am the prize in everything.
Definitely, because sometimes men can just be self-centered. So now my question is, do you think he cheated out of emotions or rather it was something else that was pushing his stupid mind?
I won't say emotions because I'll just say it's stupidity,
Definitely.
ego, pride. Because men are just driven by stupid ideas just to cheat because they can have a 10 out of 10 lady but still cheat with a 3 out of 4.
Definitely, because I'm speaking right now as a survivor as well. Imagine being a God-loving woman, going to church, submissive to a man who didn't pay lobola for you, but then at the end of the day, he ends up cheating. It's really bad, but then at the end of the day, we survive. Now, what are your views about relationships ever since that happened?
My views about relationships have changed because I can certainly say I have healed, trust me. And it took a lot of work that came with a very strong support system, which was friends, family, and knowing that in as much I have been hurt, a man doesn't define me, I define myself. And if I need a man to define myself, what am I saying about my parents? So basically, I had to stand up and tell myself that, baby girl, in as much all that shit happened, you are still the prize. The table has always been set in front of you, and you don't need someone else to bring a side dish or whatever. You are the main, the side, and the dessert as well. So it took me telling myself, reaffirming myself every day that I can do this all over again. And I can certainly say that I am in a very beautiful and wonderful relationship currently.
That is very beautiful too. Okay, so at the beginning of this conversation, I thought I was healed. But then now, because I'm engaging into this conversation, I'm starting to see that I wasn't healed. Why? Because despite being a Priscilla Shah in front of the eyes of the people, I'm actually a person who once thought of taking in alcohol because I was cheated on so bad. I was cheated on so bad. Imagine you are so submissive, you're a church going woman, you you love this man with all you have, right? But then they ended up cheating anyway. So now, negatively, I was impacted when we are talking about my mental health, and I didn't have a support system. I didn't have friends to look out for me when that happened. That's why now I'm starting to realize I'm not okay. So now I know there's a woman out there who's eating a lot of chocolate in her blankets, who's also going through a lot, like I am doing. Now we want to know, how exactly did you deal with your mental traumas when that happened to you?
Basically, I can say you will be still in denial when it happens the first time. The denial stage is the most painful part of it because you'll be still going back, replaying the happy memories. and telling yourself it's okay. And I think the mistake is women that we make. That person can cheat and cheat, and we still go back because we have the hopes that they'll change. But in all truth, that small-minded man will never change. It's all about choosing yourself in everything, telling yourself that in as much as it's painful, I am choosing me and saying I'm important, I matter. And in as much as the pain you carry, you will heal and you'll meet someone who will actually help you through that journey. In if you don't have a support system, you create one. As a girl, I believe that a girl can be a girl's person. In as much as women are the ones that destroy women, we can build each other up.
At the same time.
At the same time, the men hold each other's hands through the stupid things that they do. Why not women do the same thing? So I believe simple taking care of yourself and reaffirming with yourself and telling yourself that through everything else, I matter. And there's nothing that can deter you from anything, any problem that you can face.
Definitely. Thank you so much for that. So now, what we need to do is to put ourselves first.
Yes.
You know, we can be a sister's keeper. I don't
Mhm.
know who needs to be hearing this, but wherever you are, if you're going through this, you can also be a survivor. So now, as we're wrapping up our conversation, what advice can you give to that woman out there who's listening and she is going through exactly what you went through? What can you tell her right now?
To my girls out there that are going through something or facing a difficult phase, be it not relationship related, choose yourself.
Mhm.
Make yourself matter. Make yourself the main conversation in everything else you do. Make sure that you are heard and you're listened in wherever you step into. Make sure that the conversations that you have with yourself and the other person, your significant other, or the people around you, are something that can build you. You matter in everything that you choose yourself. You're the prize.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Remember, ladies, like she said, choose yourself. Remember, you're important. And whenever you're choosing your significant others, this is now coming from me, make sure, just make sure you put yourself first. So there you have it, ladies. You might have a very deep bleeding wound, but then it will heal at the end of the day. So catch us next time on the Eden Life podcast as we'll be discussing more thought provoking questions. This is it from me, your girl DRG. Let's meet next time.